This episode brought to you by our friends at Hover, the easiest way to buy domain names and do more with them. Get 25% off today by visiting hover.com/MrMobile.
Hi, I'm Jay Goldman. You're watching Mr. Mobile. Today, we are going to take a look at some fun games for your iPhone to play if you're on a plane. That's right, if you're sitting on an airplane and you want to play a game on your iPhone, take a look at Flight Control, or maybe for the kids, Airport Mania. There's nothing quite like the look of your seatmates when they take a sneak peek at your screen and they realize that you are actually controlling the plane that you're on right now. So, not quite, but what you are actually doing is trying to land planes at different airports. In fact, one airport with different landing strips. And I gotta say, for a very simple game, I cannot stop playing Flight Control. It's very, very addictive. So let's take a look at the app. It's very easy to play, and you can download it in the iTunes App Store for 99 cents. Check the show notes for a download link. Flight Control comes from a company called Firemint, so the first thing you'll see when you load the application is the Firemint loading screen. The next thing is your Welcome Aboard notice, which gives you the option of turning on game sounds or not. The game sounds are actually very useful because there are some warning sounds that can make it easier to spot when planes are coming into the screen, so unless you'd like to listen to your own music, I definitely recommend them. There's also some great lounge music that plays at the beginning of the game. Flight Control has a great feature which actually automatically pauses the game if you get a phone call in and then lets you resume it at a later time. So if you've got a game underway right now, tapping on the play button will allow you to resume that game. I don't have a game on the go, so this is actually how the game starts. You'll note that this airport has a helipad and a pink and yellow runway, and that we get pink and yellow planes coming in. In order to land the plane, you just tap on it and draw the line that you'd like it to take, ending at the airport runway. This starts to get a little bit more difficult as we get more planes on the screen, and we need to be able to guide all of those planes to the runway without them crashing. Now, this isn't like most games, so you only get one crash and you're dead. Make sure that you get all the planes to their runways safely without any of them colliding. Along the top of the screen, you'll see the count of aircraft landed and my high score, which is 70, a number I haven't been able to get even close to matching again. The bottom right corner includes a pause control, so when people insist on talking to you while you're playing the game, you can tap on the pause control to make sure that none of the aircraft crash while you're answering their questions. When you get to the end of the game, it'll give you your total and a retry button so you can start the game again, as well as a submit button if you'd like to include your high score in their leaderboard. The game doesn't have anything to configure other than sound, so that's pretty much all there is, other than a brief tutorial and some overall stats about people's performance. The online scores button is a chance for you to see how you've been doing compared to everybody else, and is an invitation to join their first-class lounge at cloudcell.com, the website Firemint has set up to include high scores. It does require you to register with Cloudcell, very simple process, and you can log into an existing account if you've done that already. Flight Control is a great game, but it does require some fairly fine motor skills. So if you've got some kids who like to play with your iPhone, and they like to land planes, and really who doesn't, you might want to check out Airport Mania. A little bit of a variation of the game, but a little bit easier for kids who might not have the fine control required to land planes on very small runways. Airport Mania takes a little while to load, but you do get a great animation of the seatbelt very slowly closing across the screen, which is sure to keep your kids entertained for a while. You'll note that we're running the light version here, and there's a Get the Full Version button directly from the main screen. From the main screen, you can configure the game, although there's not a whole lot to configure beyond the music volume and whether you want to see tips or not. And you can jump into the game and play directly. I'm going to jump directly in. Every stage includes different scores for you to try and achieve if you'd like to attain the different levels, including the Master and Supreme score. The tips appear across the bottom of the screen in order to help you learn how to play the game. This is especially helpful if you didn't do the tutorial. Rather than in Flight Control, which consists of drawing a line from a plane to a runway, Airport Mania requires you to tap on the plane and then tap on the runway. Every plane that you land will pop up some different statistics about it and tell you how much money you've earned for landing it. It's important not to have the planes collide as they're landing on the runway. And once they've landed, it's important to move them to a gateway so that they can unload their passengers. Late planes will cost you money, so make sure that you get them down on the ground before their line runs out above the plane. Note that some planes have a number above them which indicates which runway they can land on. Once the plane has unloaded all the passengers, tap on the plane, then tap on the runway to have it take off again. If the plane needs repairs or fuel ups, look for those spaces on the ground and move the plane over there so that you can free up the gate to unload other passengers. As I mentioned at the beginning, there's a light and full version of Airport Mania. The difference seems to basically be the number of levels, the full version having 8 and the light version having 2. So you can try out the light version, which is free, and if your kids like it, you can always upgrade to the full version afterwards. I'm Jay Goldman. This has been Mr. Mobile. Thanks for watching. Check out our website at butterscotch.com for some past episodes. And if you have any questions or any applications you'd like us to review, feel free to send me an email at jay@butterscotch.com. See you next time.
This episode brought to you by our friends at Hover, the easiest way to buy domain names and do more with them. Get 25% off today by visiting hover.com/MrMobile.